Jason, how are you? And I'll start off with these rumors about Sean Payton bringing Tom Brady with him back here to New Orleans. How much validity do they have?
Look, I talked to some people who would know, who'd be pretty familiar with those two dudes. Nothing shocks me in this league anymore, so I just start right there. I preface it with nothing shocking, anything's possible, and crazier stuff than that has certainly happened before. But I'm not convinced it's a done deal. It's in the bag or anything like that. I'm not sure that is really where Sean Payton is. I'm not sure that's where Tom Brady is. There's a lot that's going to have to play out. And frankly, I mean, Mickey Loomis is a pretty pragmatic guy, you have this quarterback who's there forever, who's a first ballot Hall of Famer. You have a coach who was a part of that for a long time, who hangs on a little bit longer, and then he leaves. The idea that Dennis Allen or anybody else was necessarily going to set the world on fire in year one, I think you probably need to give that thing more than one season to really know what it is. So, again, I'm not saying it's not happening. I haven't heard that it is. I would not be shocked if Sean Payton sat this whole thing out and waited till next year, where there might be way more jobs open. And what's the price of coaches going to do when the Commanders sell for $7.3 billion or whatever, right, in the spring, and then the Ravens sell for 5-something, maybe 6, and when that starts happening, what's the CEO worth? If we're now establishing that, it used to be $2 and $3 billion was whoa, that's crazy. So if it's 7.5, and that means it's 7.5 for Washington, which means Jerry World's probably worth $10 billion. Then is a head coach worth $20 million a year?
Yes.
And a lot's going to settle in this next year. And Sean's very smart and very shrewd. The one I think he really wanted was the Chargers, for obvious reasons. I don't think it's going to open up or go to the playoffs. I mean, maybe if they lose 45-0 in the first round, but and these other ones all sort of have warts. And I mean, they say you can't go home again. He could go home again. I mean, I'm not saying again it's an impossibility, but it doesn't feel to me like where this is headed.
Now, Jason, but we've heard Sean Payton. This goes back to 2006. When we talking to him, or he's talking to the media, or a personal level, or maybe just to the media as a whole, he'd always reference to Bill Parcells as far as being his mentor and giving examples of his association with Bill Parcells. Then you look at his track record. You look at a head coach and general manager. It's like a half a dozen teams. So, and you look at Sean, okay, and this is like a head coach, general manager, not assistant. He's been assistant. We all know with the Eagles, with the Giants, and then with Dallas. But as a head coach and in charge, look at Bill Parcells. So that's why I think that Sean would be more vagabond type, like Bill Parcells in the NFL. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I just think also, let's be real about this scenario. And again, I'm not saying that it can't happen. But so he sits out a year, he comes back to the same place with diminished returns, right, because of some of the trades they've made and stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody's a year older. The cap situation is just as hellacious as it was when he left. And now we're going to find a way to squeeze Tom Brady in. And he's year to year. He just did Drew Brees' tail. You know what I mean? Now, I think Tom is obviously being more effective longer, but I just don't know that that's where he's at. Think about how long it's been since Sean Payton, who at his core is a quarterback who fancies himself an identifier, evaluator, and developer of them, and I would say he's damn good at it. Does he want to keep working with 45-year-old guys, 40-year-old guys? Even the Denver thing. Is his next act trying to salvage what's left of Russell Wilson, or is it trying to turn Caleb Williams into the next Andrew Luck?